Okay. Oh, that's pretty bright actually, so you can see it. So, I'm going to do 8A. But I think I said maybe the answer was, I don't know if it's right or not, but I'll check it now anyways. So, 8A on page 47. Are we ready now? Come on. Page 47. Now, I tell you that the sum of the first 19 and 22 terms are 228 and 297. So the sum of the first 19 terms and the sum of the first 22 terms. So the sum of the first 19 terms is 228, and the sum of the first 22 terms is 297. Okay, so when you think about it, there's two things we're looking for here, the A and the OR, because it's geometric. And I give you two pieces of information. So you should be able to find the A and the OR. Yes?
It says it's arithmetic.
Does it? Am I looking at the wrong one? I'm being stupid. Page 49, the next one, geometric. So the sum of the first 8 terms is 2187. And the sum of the first 4 terms is 20. Okay. So let's use our S-sum formula. So do you remember it's A 1 minus R power n over 1 minus R. That must equal 2187. And then here, same deal. You get that? This is not as difficult to solve as you might think. Okay? Does anybody remember the trick I told you that makes the geometric different to the arithmetic when you try to solve these problems? So previously with arithmetic you could maybe add and subtract to cancel the A and the or the A and the D. But what should we do here? Does anyone know? Divide. Now do you remember which divided by which? Which way around do you do it? The bigger power divided by the smaller power. So if I put this one on top, divided by this one on bottom, that should equal 2187 over 20. You see how I did there? This one dividing this one. Power 4 here, yeah. Now, that's actually good because things cancel here. What can I cancel here? A is gone, and what else? 1 minus R. So in fact, I'm left with this. And again, this isn't as bad as it looks because you actually saw previously how to solve this. What should I do to solve this or to simplify it? Any ideas?
Subtract.
Not subtract. Can't sadly not cancel the powers. Not cross multiply.
You find a...
No.
Factorize.
No, oh my goodness. Anybody? Come on. What does it say in? Thank you. Divide it. Long division. So 1 minus R power 4 divide into 1 minus R8. Now there's other ways to do it too. You could change R4 into R8 into R4 squared and stuff like this, but I won't do it that way. I'll do it the way I showed you previously. Divide this into this, yeah? Okay, so what number do I need first here? 1, and then well, okay, let's see what happens. Oh, I should have started on a new page. I'll do that. Okay, before I start on a new page, you probably need to write that down. And actually, you see here, I don't really like it like this, because if we think back to when we did cubics, is the biggest power at the start or at the end of the equation? At the start. So what I'll do here is, just to make it look a little nicer, multiply the top and bottom by -1. That will flip them around. So I get R8 minus 1 over R4 minus 1 equals this. Okay. So write that down. Okay, go down a bit. We'll get rid of this. Okay. Can I do the long division now? Yeah? Okay. Actually, maybe I can fit in here if I just write a bit smaller. So, looking at this, R4 minus 1 dividing into R8 minus 1. So who can tell me what needs to go up here? No, good guess, not R2, R4. Now yes, now I multiply. So R4 times R4, R8 minus R4. Actually, I guess I didn't have enough space. Right, even smaller. R4 minus R8 minus R4. Now, when I subtract, what am I left with? Yeah, I'm going to be left with R4 minus 1, basically. Is that okay? Can you see that? What goes up here? 1, isn't it? And then when I multiply, what's the remainder? Yeah, 0. So that's nice, that's perfect. It divides in perfectly. So this blue thing now has become R4 plus 1 equals 2187 over 20. I've simplified that into this here by doing the division. Now this isn't too difficult to solve, because all I do now is take the 1 over to the right. So can somebody please do this number minus 1, tell me what you get. Calculator, yes, yes. Now with your answer on the screen, do the 4th root of that, please. The 4th root. You remember how to type that in? 4th root. What is it? 3.226. Okay. So yeah, the answer for this one's wrong at the back. It's 3.226. So 3.23. Yes, it's wrong at the back. Yes, yes. Is that okay here, what I did there at the end? Yes? Now, I won't do it now because there's not enough time, but I don't think it's a big deal. How can I find the A now? How could I find the A? Yeah, substitute it back into, like for example, this one here. Yes? And then you can get the A out. What's wrong, Hassan? You okay? Right. So the key difference between this geometric and arithmetic is the way you cancel the equations is by dividing. That's the only difference, really. Do you remember when we did arithmetic, you got two equations and they were two linear equations? Remember that with the A and the D? It's the same idea, it's just you need to divide and do long division to simplify it. But these are things that you've done already, so they should be okay. Anyways, I have to fix the answers at the back, so don't worry about 8. And I feel number 8 is more difficult than what you need for the exam anyways. So for exam purposes, you just need 1 to 7. So when your teacher starts a sentence with "for exam purposes," it means it's important information, maybe even worth writing down somewhere. So for exam purposes, you really only need 1 to 7. 8 and 9 are too difficult. They wouldn't ask you this in the exam. So I don't need you to do 8 and 9. I just need you to do 1 to 7. If you tried 8 and 9, good for you. Okay, our next topic, page 53. On page 53, you can see up the top, these aren't my questions. Questions 1 to 7 are past exam questions. The questions are still arithmetic geometric, but as you can see from looking at it, it's word-based problems. So you need to read it, write it as an equation, and solve it. Okay? So there's no new formulas. There's nothing new for me to show you. It's all about using what you have in the previous 5 lessons or so. Okay? So I think the best thing is if I just do some of them now to give you the idea. So if we look at the first one together. The number of new cases of bird flu victims is modeled by a geometric progression. So first thing to note is, are we talking AP or GP? And number 1 here, they tell you clearly it's GP. So far okay? Better still, they also tell you what the common ratio is. What letter is the common ratio, A or OR? Yeah, so they tell you in fact that the OR is 1.25. And they also tell you the number in the first week. What do you think that represents, the number of cases in the first week? The A, yeah. Which is 16. Find how many cases are in week 2, week 3, and week 10. So, what would week 2 be? Like what letter?
W2.
Yeah, U2. And what would week 3 be? U3, and then week 10, U10. Okay, so what's the formula for U2? Yeah, AR power 1. And then what one would this be? Yeah, and here? 9. Yeah. So far okay? Right, so if you just take out your calculator and put this in, I think you get 20. And then 25. And I've run out of brain power here. So if you put A and OR into the last one, can you tell me what you get, please? $190? 119. So you can see it's not actually too bad. Once you understand what information they're giving you and what information they want, it's just a matter of using the formula which you already know. So it's not too difficult. Part B is a little bit more difficult. So let's all have a look at part B. Find an expression for the total number of cases in the first n weeks. After how many weeks would this total exceed 5,000? So he wants a total for the first n weeks. So what would that be? Any ideas?
UN.
No, not UN. SN, because it's the total. You're adding the cases each week. Okay? So they're looking for SN. What's the formula for SN? It's, what's it? A over 2, isn't it? Sorry, not A over 2. N over 2. 2A plus N minus 1D. Alright, let's put in the numbers. N over 2 is N over 2. 2A, what's A? 16. So 2A, 32. And what's the D? 1.25. Okay, let's multiply that out. N over 2, 32 plus 1.25 N minus 1.25. That's a minus here, minus 1. That's a minus 1. Okay. And we can simplify this a bit more. N over 2, 32 minus 1.25, that's 30.75 plus 1.25 N. And my experience tells me that they usually want you to keep simplifying until you get a nice quadratic. So calculators, we'll put in the dividing by 2 now. So 30.75 divided by 2, that'd be 15.375? 15.375 N, because N multiplies in as well. And then I multiply that piece in at the end as well. I get plus 0.625 N squared. So there you go. That is the total number of, not victims, patients, I suppose, or sufferers after n weeks. Now, but that's not finished yet. That's only the first half. Find the total number of cases in the first n weeks. There it is, a formula there for it. But what do they ask you next? How many weeks until you get 5,000 patients? So what letter are they looking for? N. How many weeks? N. And what is exactly 5,000 here? SN. Yeah, very good. So 5,000 equals 15.375 N plus 0.625 N squared. So basically you have a quadratic. 0.625 N squared plus 15.375 N minus 5,000 equal 0. Now if you take out your calculator and just give me the answer straight away. So if you go mode 53, I believe. What is the two answers?
7.998.
Is there one or two answers?
Yeah, there is a negative answer.
Well, we definitely won't take the negative. So what's the positive?
77.98.
Of course you can't have 7.98 weeks. It doesn't make really any sense. They ask you how many weeks. So what should I give as my final answer? 78 weeks.
Well, they might be wrong if you...
Are you sure about that? Unless I put the answer wrong at the back. They would mark you wrong if you didn't put in 78. Can I borrow this, please? I'm not trusting him right now. Right. Go on. Huh? Say again?
Isn't it supposed to be 18.5?
Yeah, it's 5,000, not 500, right?
Huh?
Oh, it's
How strange. No, sorry, I should have believed you, Avenue. Yeah, 78. Yes. What calculator do you have? I'll show you in a minute. So, let me just double check this. I don't think I made a mistake, but the answer back is 20. N over 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. 16. 32 plus 1.25 minus 1.25. That's 30.75 plus 1 divided by 2. 30.75 divided by 2. Yep. 1.25 divided by 2. Yep. Alright. Guess the answer's not right at the back. I mean, you all got 78 on your calculator as well, yeah? Yeah, okay. Alright. So that's the first one done. So I'm going to do number 2 now. Okay. I'll borrow this for a moment. Question? No? Oh, it is. I'll borrow this for a moment. Okay, number 2. So what you have in number 2 is a ball goes forward and backwards between two walls. Each time it hits the wall, it goes slower. The time for the first bounce between the two walls is 2 seconds. The time for the second bounce is 2 multiply 1.2 seconds. The time for the third bounce, now of course that's typo there, that shouldn't say 22.
Yeah.
That should say 2 1.2 squared. And then the time for the third bounce would be 2 times 1.2 cubed. Okay. Now, can we just put these in the calculator? So the first time is 2 seconds. What would this one here be? 2.4, isn't it? And what's the next one? What's this one here? What is it? 2.88. Now, first one is from A to B, isn't it? Yeah. So this one A to B, and then the next one B to A, and what they want is the next time it hits B. So that actually literally is the next one here, I think. So can you do 2 times 1.2 cubed?
3.456.
What is it?
3.456.
Okay. Now, does he want the total time? Or, yeah, he wants the total time. Oh, so I actually think he just, yeah, if we just add these up here. So what is the first tree here? Is it 7.28? It is? Great, okay. So 7.28 is the time where it goes, what is it? A to B, and then B to A, and then A to B. So how many times does it hit B? Twice, yeah. And that's what he wants in the first one. Show that the time to hit B twice, basically, is 7.28. Okay, and then if he said to hit A twice, what would I have to do? I'd have to do A to B, B to A, yeah, and so on and so on. Okay, find the total time it takes for it to bounce 20 times, is it? Yeah, so basically it goes back and forth 20 times. How long does that take in total? So what information do you know? Is it arithmetic or geometric?
Geometric.
Geometric, okay.
N equals 20.
Geometric, n equals 20, a equals
2.
2, and or equals
1.4.
1.2.
2.
And which formula do we want if we want the total time for 20 bounces?
S20.
Yeah, S20. What's the formula? It's A, 1 minus or n over 1 minus r. Okay, what does that equal, please, calculators? Yep, 373 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, read the question. It says, give your answer to the nearest second. So I rounded to 373 because it was actually 373.38. Okay. Determine how many crossings the ball makes in 15 minutes. So this last part is a little bit different. What is he looking for?
The S.
Not the S, no. The N, yeah. And what does he tell you?
Yeah.
The time, which is what letter though? The total time is what letter?
S.
S, okay. So what does Sn equal? Not 15.
15 times 3.
15 times 60. It's 15 minutes, but we need to change it into seconds because we've been using seconds everywhere, okay? So what's 15 minutes as seconds? 900 seconds, okay. The A and the O are still the same. Right, so again, using our formula, it's A, which I know. What's the A? 2, wasn't it? 1 minus or n over 1 minus r, correct? And that should equal 900, right. So 1 minus 2, 1 minus 2, minus 1. So, and then divide by 2. So I get 1 minus 1.2 n equals 450, yeah? Oh, sorry, it's not 2, you're right, sorry. It's 1 minus 1.2. Thank you. So 1 minus 1.2 minus 0.2 multiply 900 divided by 2. Okay, so if you bring that up and that down, you get minus 90 here. One minus 1.2 is minus 0.2. I bring the minus 0.2 up here, and with the 2, what do I do? Bring it underneath. And I'm telling you, in total, it will be minus 90. Okay. Now what should I do next? I should bring this to the right and bring this to the left. So I get 91 equals 1.2 power n. So far okay now? I haven't lost anyone here? No? Okay. Yes? If I divide by 2 first, where, here? Yeah, that's okay. So then this would be 450. And then you would still need to bring this up to the right. It would still end up being minus 90. Okay? Now, okay. I have to leave it there because how to solve this equation you need to use something which is in the next chapter. But I want, yes. What do you need to use to solve this equation? Who knows? Logs, yeah. And I haven't done logs with you yet, so I don't want to show you something we haven't done yet. So for now, we'll just leave it here. Okay? And once, well, no, I won't show you. It won't be fair, because some people probably haven't seen logs before.
I think it's 24.7.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's 24 at the back. But look, if you want a rough way to do it without using logs, okay? I was just putting in some different numbers in my calculator. When I put in n is 30, it was too big. When I put in 20, it was too small. So I went for one in the middle. I put in 25. It was really, really close. So even without using logs, I know that the answer should be somewhere near 24, 25. So I can't give you the exact answer. Well, I could give you the exact answer now, but we haven't done logs, so I don't think it would be fair. But just for now, it's enough to say n must be roughly 25, because if you do what, check it on your calculator. If you do 1.2 power 25, what do you get? Yeah, you get 95. So it's just a tiny bit over. So we think it's about 24 point something. Now the actual answer you said was 24.7, was it?
Yeah, 24.
But he asked us to round it off to the nearest crossing, so we have to round it down to 24. Why don't I round it up to 25? If it's 24.7, why do I go down to 24 instead of up to 25?
Because 25 gives you 95 or 96 square root.
Not because of that. Yes? No? I'll tell you. So, the reason you must round it down is because if he asks you how many times it goes between the two walls, imagine it goes 23, 24, and then 24.7, it would stop here, right? It's not right to say that it's hit 25 times. How many times has it actually hit the wall? 24, and it's in the middle of hitting 25. But it's only completed 24. And look at the question. Notice how he uses the, how many crossings did it make? Okay? In other words, how many did it successfully do? It did 24, and it's on its way to doing 25. Usually for these questions you round down, even if you think you should round up. Okay? So if you never know which way to round, my advice is to round down. Lots of students lose 1 mark in the exam because they would have given the answer as 25. Okay? Whereas the answer should have been 24. Okay? I don't want to do too many of these because there's only 8 in total, and I've already done 2 of them, and I need you to try some of these, okay? I will probably end up doing number 4 the next day, I feel, okay? So you should be able to do 3, and I'll probably end up doing number 6. So you should be able to do 3, 5, 7, and 8. So I'd like you to try those now, 3, 5, 7, and 8. The rich one.
3, 5?
3, 5, 7, and 8.